Episode 4 of The Acolyte is out. That's right, we are halfway through this show, and I hope you guys are excited because this is the episode where it all changes. That's right, we get 20 straight minutes of Jedi walking through the woods. I will say, funny enough, this is actually the best episode of the show so far. It's still crap, but at least it kind of reminds me of Star Wars. The sets look kind of nice. There is one scene in it that actually feels like Star Wars. It's not a very long scene. I'm sorry I could not get my episode 3 review out. We had some technical difficulties. I lost all my footage. We were way past the deadline, and then at the end of the day, I just had to give up on it. There will be some clips from my episode 3 review that I couldn't actually edit and put out, but I'll put in this video so there's some context to what I was saying before. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into this episode. So the episode starts off with Kelnaka, where we left off in episode 2. It reminds you again that you're on Kofar, so just that you don't mistake it for the other forest planet that they've shown in the show. Which one that is, I don't know, but they wanted to make sure you knew it was Kofar, because the show thinks you're stupid. We see Kelnaka preparing, I guess, breakfast, in which it shows the writing on the walls that the witches use. So it looks like he's been investigating the thread. For what purpose? Why would you investigate the wrong version of the Force? I don't know. Also, I hope you enjoyed watching Kelnaka make breakfast, because that's all he does in this entire episode. Then it cuts to the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. Just so you know, just so you don't mistake it for any other place that has a massive Jedi temple that is a city, the show thinks you're stupid. It cuts to the Padawans training with wooden swords for some reason. I don't know why they included this scene, especially Padawans that are this age. They all should have lightsabers and by extension training sabers. That's what they should be training with, considering that that's the weapon they primarily use. They don't use boken when they're Jedi. They use lightsabers. Why are they not practicing with lightsabers? I don't understand this. It doesn't make any sense. We actually have another white guy, funny enough, crazy enough. He has a bunch of stupid dialogue that's just platitudes that don't make any sense, especially in the contents of Jedi training.
Tight, yet subtle.
Because he's giving advice to train with wooden swords. Not with lightsabers, which is what Jedi should be using.
Diminish areas of vulnerability.
Don't fuck up. Very important. Yes. Oh, so wise. So wise. We then have this scene between Jackie and Osha where essentially she's saying goodbye, which is a pointless scene because they all just stay together. There's also a thing you notice in this show where, again, characters are telling other characters things they already know for the sake of the audience. Because for some reason, Disney has the need to tell you every single thing that every character is feeling all the time. Because they think you're stupid.
Thank you. For what? For helping me find my sister.
All of episode 2 and 1, the shit we've seen already. But no, they're going to tell you what she's thanking her for.
I may never have known for certain May was alive. To you, I've seen her with my own eyes.
Yeah, we know! It's a solid, 3 minutes of just recapping episode 2, which, keep in mind, they already did a recap section. Then it cuts back to Kofar with May and Agent Ezra Miller. He says that the planet's uncharted, but at the same time, you said in episode 2 that it was a
relaxing forest retreat in the Outer Rim.
So which is it? Is it an uncharted planet or is it a retreat? Because a retreat would imply that people go there. After we get to see them walk through the woods for a couple seconds, we shut to this Jedi meeting, during which you have Kaede Mundy's long-lost cousin and a bunch of other Jedi who are talking about the fight in episode 2.
She is fast, but weak.
Everyone knows that May continuously gets her ass kicked. The fact that she was considered the antagonist in the first place surprises me. They then talk about how she doesn't know her master and how she clearly has training.
Yet she eluded you. And she killed 2 Jedi Masters.
She alludes to the fact that she did in fact kill Jedi Masters, which is the confirmation that Torben was in fact a master. We're gonna splice in a clip from my episode 3 review just to cover that real quick. Hold on, is that a Padawan braid? Is Torben a Padawan at this point in time?
And my Padawan Torben.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Torben's a Padawan? Wait a minute. So this took place 16 years ago. He was in a meditative state for 10 years, which means in a 6-year time span after this takes place, Torben became a Jedi Knight and subsequently a master before going into a state for 10 years, because they call him Master Torben. He's a Jedi Master when the story takes place, and he decides to shuffle himself off his mortal coil. How does that make any sense? So how did he become a master in 6 years? Prerequisite for becoming a Jedi Master is training a Padawan into knighthood. That is a prerequisite for becoming a master. There's no fucking way Torben became a knight, or trained a Padawan into an apprentice, and became a master. How? It's almost like people never actually read... Oh, that's right. They've never actually read Star Wars before.
The 4 Jedi stationed on her home planet when she was a child.
Again, they are telling characters things they should already know, considering the fact that this briefing should have happened already. They're telling them things that the audience already knows to pad runtime.
You think a Jedi taught her?
Even a hologram can tell me that.
But then we get hit with this crazy-ass statement from Vernestra Rowe.
We must alert the High Council.
The High Council would be obliged to inform the Senate. We should handle this ourselves.
Fucking what? So she is telling them to not inform the Jedi Council. First of all, a water fountain breaking in the temple the Jedi Council knows about. Why would this group of Jedi just not tell the Council anything? This is supposed to be during the time in the Republic when the Jedi are like the most dogmatic. Who in their right mind would think, let's not tell the Council about someone who's killed 2 Jedi Masters? This scene makes no sense. It's also just objectively not true. The Jedi aren't obliged to tell the Senate shit. We saw that in Attack of the Clones.
I think it is time we inform the Senate that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
Only the Dark Lord of the Sith knows of our weakness. If informed the Senate is, multiply our adversaries' will.
There is a silver lining, though. That means that, thankfully, Yoda probably dodged a bullet and actually won't be in the show. Thank God. After this, Soul talks to Vernestra, and basically she tells him,
Why didn't you tell me about this?
I did.
I fucking did. You know all this information already.
Why didn't you tell me there was a chance this poor girl survived?
He didn't know! He didn't know there was a chance that she survived because he saw her fall down a pit. This is before Disney Star Wars time when everyone survives every single injury they receive. So then they agree to let Soul bring her back using Osha's bait. But the annoying thing is they keep giving off, during this episode, they keep emphasizing the fact that she can be saved, that there's good in her. She's killed 2 people. There shouldn't be any recourse. They should just arrest her. That's it. She's killed 2 Jedi Masters. That's a big deal. But they keep asking like, oh no, she's just a poor lost little girl. No, she's a grown adult now, and she's murdering people. Arrest her. And then cuts back to May and Asia and Ezra Miller walking through the woods. I hope you enjoy this because that's the majority of the episode is people hiking. Ezra then brings up a really good point about how he's asking how her whole system works. Like, if you take someone's lightsaber, can you then use their lightsaber? Why are you not allowed to use weapons? Which would have been really nice to know way earlier. This probably should have been asked in episode 2, but instead he's asking now, and she still doesn't quite answer it.
This time you failed so much.
He's right.
I didn't fail. I killed Indara, and I killed Torben.
Technically, you killed Indara. Torben offed himself. That wasn't you. There's moments in this episode where I'm mostly convinced that the evil master is actually Asian Ezra Miller, because there are moments where he tries to, like, goad her. But if that is the case, then this whole mission doesn't make any sense. So Soul grabs Osha before they leave. So that whole goodbye sequence between her and Jecki, pointless. They give us, again, they give us lines to make you think that this is Star Wars like this one.
There is still good in her.
But it's just soulless skin suit Star Wars. And then they have this little bit right here where this just goes to show the writers just wanted to be funny and didn't put any additional thought into it.
I'm not wearing that civilian robe.
The order.
There's no callback to what the civilian robes indicate. Why they even have civilian robes, they don't explain that. Unless that's like a deep cut into the High Republic comics, which I didn't get because I didn't read the High Republic comics, like everyone else. My only guess as to why they did this is so they could have Ocean in a different outfit to sell different kinds of toys, which is a basic marketing strategy, especially for toy companies. but no one's buying Acolyte toys, so I don't know what their plan was. Maybe they thought people were going to buy Acolyte toys. They're not going to. They can't even sell Rey toys. They're not going to sell Osha toys. We get the scene where they're on the ship. They're about to go to the planet, which why they weren't already there, I don't know. They should have been there already. They would have gotten there before May, but no one thinks. Then we get introduced to this gopher guy. Then we have this. This is a thing that we saw with... we saw people expecting how they're introducing pronouns into the Star Wars universe. First of all, if they were trying to do that, they did it poorly.
What's Basil? Is he or they with us?
Who is he? Who is they? Who is they, though?
Who is they, though? We can't say who they is, can we?
press.
If you're going to do the pronoun thing, they should have just had her ask, is he with us? And then she goes, them aren't. See, I'm already fucking up my own grammar. But yeah, they should have had her correct. It's a weird kind of insert, and if they did try to just insert pronouns into it, they did it poorly because it doesn't make any sense. Could have been a she. Like, you don't know what this alien is. It just looks like an alien, so obviously you can't tell what gender it is. It should have put he, she. Could have been, you could have been kind of clever with it, but they left out she. What if it's a she? Didn't think about that one, did you, Disney? So they arrive on Brendok, they ask around for Kelnaka, and she asks if he's seen a Wookiee, who is...
big and hairy.
Which, I guess, accurate. That's how you would describe a Wookiee. Probably how you describe a lot of other things. Why didn't she ask if they'd seen a Jedi? Jedi are much more rare than Wookiees are. Everyone's seen a Wookiee before. The fact that anyone's on the planet, because remember, it's like uninhabited, so just like, hey, have you seen anyone recently? Turns out they brought the little alien along because he's a tracker, and he can actually track Kelnaka, which... is weird because Vernestra said that he's on assignment and that he broke off contact. So people should know where he is because he's there for an assignment. But he also broke off contact, which I guess you could just do in the Jedi Order. You could just not respond to people communicating with you. They say he's been gone for a year and they hasn't contacted them for a year. You think they'd have sent a search party out already. But no, they just don't know where he is and decide, you know what, a year later, now we're going to look for him when it's actually relevant. Like, this is supposed to be when the Jedi are at their peak. They're supposed to be at peak efficiency. They're supposed to be operating how Jedi should operate. How has this guy just been out of contact for a year? We have another scene with Yord and Osha talking, and again, it's them telling each other how they feel when we should already be able to get from context clues how they feel, because we've also been watching the show. We know what's happening. We know why she's upset. We know why she might have problems, but he's telling her,
I've known you since we were younglings. May has always been your wound. Maybe Soul brought you here to face her.
You're conflicted because of your past with her. No fucking shit, Yord. And then we get to see more people hiking through the woods. We get to see Ezra Miller and May hiking through the woods. We get to see Jedi hiking through the woods. We have this scene here, which I thought could have been really well done. So Osha essentially disturbs this bug that's been sleeping around because now she's able to use the Force again to sense living things. She accidentally disturbs it. It attacks her. We finally get someone using a lightsaber to cut somebody. For a grand total of 3 seconds. It's 3 seconds. This scene could have been really good. This is the first scene that actually felt like Star Wars for a second. You had like an alien menace who attacked them, and it ends in 3 seconds. Soul just straight kills it. This scene should have been padded out a little bit longer. I feel like this scene should have been 5 minutes longer. You should have had the other bugs wake up and attack the group as Jedi, so you could see all the Jedi coalesce, show their efficiency, because, you know, this is supposed to be when the Jedi are at their peak, so you have to show them being good at their job. This whole point is to make the Jedi look bad, so I know that's why they didn't do this. But this scene could have been a little bit longer. You could have had the Jedi group up. You could have had some of them die, which would have reduced their numbers for the later scene that we're going to get, which would make more sense next episode. But, again, this is the scene that felt the most like Star Wars, and it was also, like, the shortest scene. I'm so... missed opportunity. More hiking through the woods. Osha starts to talk to Jecki about this thing.
I was able to sense that creature, but I disturbed it. And now it's dead.
No, it attacked you. It's a wild animal. You were allowed to defend yourself. And then Jecki gives us this really weird, crazy line.
It's always an honor to get to witness anything or anyone transform into the Force.
It's an honor to watch things die. What the fuck does that mean? So after we watch them walk through the woods a little longer, We cut back to May and Agent Ezra Miller, and she decides that she's too tired, and then he walks off to go find her water, and so she essentially sets a trap where she captures him and leaves him hanging in the middle of the woods. As far as she's concerned, he's just a normal dude, and this is apparently an uncharted planet, and she doesn't know the Jedi are here. So according to her, she's just leaving this guy in the middle of the woods to die, because her thought process is, I'm going to go turn myself into the Jedi now that my sister's alive. And that changes all of my motivations. First of all, the fact that her motivations change doesn't make sense. She's supposed to be the bad guy. She's killed 2 people already. According to her, one offed himself and then she killed the other one. She's a criminal. Her thought process is, I can tell the Jedi what I know about my master, which we've already discovered is nothing. She doesn't know who her master is. She doesn't know anything about her master, so she has nothing to give the Jedi. And her plan is, I'm going to tell them the shit that I don't know, and then they'll let me live with May. No, you're going to jail. Yeah, as she's leaving, we have this scene where we can tell Soul senses something's wrong. We find out what it is in like 3 minutes. But the fact that he doesn't tell anyone is annoying. Also, where is Yord's Padawan? They brought a bunch of Jedi, obviously. They finally brought Jedi en masse to capture the Jedi Master Killer. But for some reason, they thought it was okay to bring Soul's Padawan, Jackie, but Yord's Padawan isn't there. Why is she not with her master in this entire show? She shows up in the first scene of the first episode, and then she doesn't fucking show up again. Why is she not? Was her makeup too hard? Why is she not with her master? This still keeps bugging me. If she doesn't show up for the rest of the show, I'm gonna lose my shit. So May tries to go into Kanaga's hut. She trips and falls, which, by the way, is really funny. She runs into the tracker, and then he starts freaking out, which puts her in a position where she can't surrender now because she's been caught, which, from a standpoint, pretty clever. The way they go with it, not so clever. She runs into the hut, and lo and behold, I hope you guys enjoyed that scene of Kelnaka making breakfast, because that's all he did. He's dead. Just like Carrie-Anne Moss, he's not even in 5 minutes of show, and he's fucking dead. Through barely an injury, by the way. Remember when people were getting stabbed with lightsabers? And everyone was like, oh, well, it cauterizes the wound. That's why they survive. He got slashed with one, not even that deep. How did that kill a Wookiee, is what I'm trying to figure out. This should have been beheaded. That's probably the only way I would have considered him dying by lightsaber. This is like the same kind of injury that like Kit Fisto had in Revenge of the Sith, which kind of bugs me, but he's a Nautilin, which makes sense that he dies from that. That's a fucking Wookiee. They can take dismemberment and still fight. They're tough, especially a Wookiee Jedi. The fact that he's sitting down, there didn't seem to be a struggle or a lightsaber fight or anything that happened, I call bullshit. Everyone surrounds the hut so they can arrest Osha, and then we get the appearance of the Master, who's definitely totally not a Sith. We see him draw his lightsaber, and first of all, he draws his lightsaber, he uses the Force to knock Osha away. Dude's clearly a Sith, which means in order for them to keep canon in order, they have to make every single person in this scene die. Which is a problem, because there's 4 main characters in this party. You can't kill them all, which means someone in this party is surviving. Which means that the Jedi know the Sith are back?
Impossible. The Sith have been extinct for a millennium.
Congratulations, you guys broke canon. Good job, Disney. By the way, I'm editing this like a day later, and I just now found out that apparently that was Coyote-Mundi at that Jedi meeting. So what the fuck, guys? Congratulations, you guys actually broke canon. And that ends the episode. We got to watch Jedi walk through the woods. We got to watch a Wookiee make breakfast. We got to watch people tell people shit they already know. That was it. That was episode 4. Funny enough, it's not the worst episode, which is crazy. It had a scene in it that made me feel like Star Wars, and that was it. That was all we got. We got to see a Jedi actually use their lightsaber. We're 4 episodes in. We've got to see the Jedi use their lightsabers as actual lightsabers twice. I guess next episode we're going to get the scene that's supposed to rival the Phantom Menace duel. I don't think it's going to be the case. This has to be a Sith to take on that many Jedi. Even a Sith Lord would have a problem with that many Jedi. So, but what do you think? Do you guys think this is a waste of time? Do you think this is the worst thing ever? I still don't think this is the worst show. mostly because I just don't care about anything that happens. Kenobi was worse because I actually cared about the people in Kenobi. This show, I don't care about any of the characters, so it's not as bad. But what do you guys think? Do you think this is the worst thing they've made so far? Leave a comment below. We'll be back for episode 5. I will also be releasing my palette cleanser alongside this episode so that we can have some, variation. We don't have to deal with all the bull crap. And I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back for episode 5. I'll see you all next time.